if you're pushing your premium postpaid customers away, you're while at the same time, bolstering the offerings on your prepaid and like your cheaper options like they have been. I mean, the same day that they announced this price increase was the same day they announced some sort of incremental benefit increase to, I think, Straight Talk or something.
Yeah, I covered that. Basically, they gave their higher plans like prioritized data and like upgraded hotspot and a phone credit when you stay after a while. So yeah,
it's like they're cannibalizing their postpaid base. I don't get it.
So let me ask you guys a question. Say you're running a carrier. How do you increase your revenue year over year? What would you guys do?
Well, no, B, this is not what this is about necessarily. The fact that Hans's quote, I don't remember the quarter, but it was definitely in either early 24 or late 23. He literally said, we're going to take from one side of the house to give to the other. So that means the premium customer on the My Plan is subsidizing service for Straight Talk.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody. I mean, that's pretty much industry knowledge. Postpaid is always subsidized prepaid, so that hasn't changed. But so what would you guys do to increase revenues at your business if you were running a telco? What would you do?
Offer new products and services.
Okay,
so marketing, better deals, better products, just genuinely offering the customer a better experience. I mean, do we want to play the $17 game again? I mean,
we already have. That's kind of what we did. So to you guys' point, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile have all been very, very much promotionally active. So pretty much $1,000 off phones,
right?
Giving away Xboxes, discounting perks. You can't get streaming services cheaper anywhere else other than Verizon. If you go to the promotional activity has been high in the industry. With respect to customer care, there's been things talked about ad nauseum in order to improve those things. Sneed had the video that came out about how customer care, increased, for example, at Verizon and other places. So there has to be some sort of improvement that's happening in that space as well. I mean, I don't know, guys. Last year, T-Mobile raised prices. AT&T raised prices last year as well, and we're only in January. So who's to say that those two carriers aren't too far behind as far as raising prices as well?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we have gone from 50 megs, 100 megs down being kind of the peak speed to 4 gigs in 4 years. Yes, there's going to be price increases, guys. Yes, it's going to happen across the industry. Yes, it's going to happen. I understand and I respect the fact that people have to mind their wallets. I
What are
get
you
it.
saying to the guys that got band 13 only sites, though?
I mean, are they going to have band 13 sites for the rest of their lives?
But they're not
are those sites not planned to be upgraded at all?
But they're not paying for band 13 only. They're paying for more chicken, and they're not getting more chicken though.
I mean, they're not getting more chicken right now. I mean, they have a right to look around, Sneed. I mean, it's not is anybody locking anyone into contracts?
No. That's true. You're right.
So with that being said, I think most of the carriers have a plan in place to upgrade their entire networks.
Yeah.
All right. I think most of the carriers have a plan in place because we're talking about Verizon. I'm going to focus on them right now. They have a plan to continue to increase the amount of people who have access to more products and services, to Max's point, because he said that's what carriers should do. Verizon's doing that. More people have access to files than at any time in that particular company's history. And they just purchased the company, Frontier, in order to expand another 25 states. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, they're playing in New York. They got like the little $20 plan for files forward. So they're matching. They're giving people. I mean, what, man? What?
It's so. I'm gonna say this, and it's. I think this is a lot of people will resonate with this. It's not necessarily about the fact that they're increasing prices. It's about the way that they're increasing prices. It is persistent with Verizon that they just nickel and dime when they increase rates on their customers. It's like, I'll give you my personal story. I had lines that were on the mix and match. I kept them on the mix and match before my plan came out. And then, early last year or early 2024, whenever it was, we all got that email that said, oh, your old lines are going to go up by $4 a month. And I think it was like an increase of $1 or $2 for me to go to the My plan or whatever at that time. So my bill went up to $1 or $2. And then I get an email again that says the plan I just switched to less than a year ago is also going up by more per line. It's the nickel and diming, and people are sick of it. Think about the people who got nickel and dimed out of the 110 plan and then got nickel and dimed out of mix and match, and then now are being nickel and dimed on the My plan. It's the perception, not necessarily the execution.
I don't know how so I acknowledge what you're saying and I respect it. I promise I do. I really, really do. I don't know what else to say other than transparency is there. Verizon, every time they've raised prices, they have come out and said, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to give you X amount of days. Hey, we're doing this 30 days from now, however many days. And then the customer has the ability to be able to make whatever choice it is that they want to make that's best for their family.
That's the government mandate.
Yeah, but every company does, but every company doesn't do it. Like, for example, we have companies out there charging $5 for people to pay their bill, and they didn't let people know. Like, that doesn't always happen. Mm-hmm. And so, like, if it's a federal mandate, to your point, that Verizon has honored and stuck to that mandate, and now it's up to the consumer to decide what's best for them. This is business, guys.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Hold up.
So I agree with that, and I acknowledge it completely. But just because a company tells the customer that they're going to screw them over doesn't mean it's okay to still screw them over.
Well, you're not screwing them over by raising prices. If you go to your employer and ask for a raise, you're not screwing your employer because you're asking them for a raise. You're asking for a raise because you feel you need more money. So
does Verizon need a raise?
I mean, they're saying they do because they're raising prices. So now it's up to the consumer who is not in a contract. They can either decide to make that payment or they can shop around. Like Sneed has already covered this ad nauseum. If like price increases are not going to stop. When you look at inflation, when you talk about inflation and all the different industries out there who are raising prices and doing all that stuff, like, yo, telecom is never listed as one of the industries that's keeping inflation high. It's not even on the list. And so we continue to have this same conversation. Like, yo, T-Mobile's probably going to raise prices this year.